we're going to explain how to fix the execution failed for task appcheckDebugAarMetadata error in Flutter. This frustrating error often pops up during the build process, preventing you from successfully generating your app's debug build. It typically stems from problems with your Firebase appcheck configuration or related dependencies. Let's break down the common causes and solutions. 1. Verify Firebase setup. First, double-check that you've correctly integrated Firebase into your Flutter project. Make sure you've followed all the steps in the official Firebase documentation, including adding the necessary dependencies to your write single quote pubspec.yaml, write single quote file, and correctly configuring your write single quote google-services.json write single quote file for Android, or write single quote google service-info.plist write single quote file for iOS. A missing or incorrectly placed file is a frequent culprit. Carefully review the Firebase console for any warnings or errors related to your project setup. 2. Clean and rebuild. Sometimes a simple clean and rebuild can resolve transient build issues. In your terminal or IDE, navigate to your Flutter project's root directory and run flutter clean followed by flutter pub get and then flutter run or flutter build apk debug. This process clears out cached build files and forces a fresh build, potentially resolving temporary inconsistencies. 3. Check dependencies. Examine your write single quote pubspec.yaml write single quote file for any conflicting or outdated dependencies. Make sure you're using the latest stable versions of your Firebase packages, and especially the Firebase_core and Firebase_app_check packages. Look for any potential dependency conflicts that might be causing the build to fail. Sometimes updating or downgrading a specific package can resolve the issue. Flutter pub upgrade can be useful here, but carefully check your project afterwards. 4. Gradle issues, Android. This error often manifests due to problems with the Android Gradle build system. Check your write single quote android/build.gradle, write single quote and write single quote android/app/build.gradle, write single quote files for any errors or inconsistencies. Ensure your Gradle version is compatible with your Flutter version. Look out for any warnings or errors during the Gradle build process in the terminal output. Updating the Gradle version may be required, often to a later version than what's explicitly stated in the project configuration. 5. Inspect log files. The detailed error messages often provide crucial clues. Scour the terminal output for any specific error messages that appear before the execution failed for task appcheckDebugAarMetadata message. This often points directly to the underlying problem, be it a missing dependency, an incorrectly configured file, or some other issue with the build process. These logs may reveal a deeper underlying problem that can then be addressed individually. 6. Invalidate caches. Restart. In your IDE, Android Studio, or VS Code, try invalidating caches and restarting. This helps clear out any cached information that might be contributing to the problem. This can often clear out unexpected build issues. 7. Firebase appcheck configuration. Ensure your Firebase appcheck is properly set up and configured correctly for your Android app. This involves creating the necessary safety nets and setting up the proper configurations in both the Firebase console and your app's code. Check that the proper signing keys have been included in the app configurations and that no unexpected configuration conflicts have occurred. If none of these solutions work, provide the full error message and your relevant write single quote pubspec.yaml write single quote and write single quote android/build.gradle write single quote file snippets for more targeted assistance. Remember to always consult the official Firebase and Flutter documentation for the most up-to-date information and troubleshooting tips.